So you got to work at it. Every day that you're doing something, you have to keep working at it. You have to remember, I want you to go and remember what it's like to train a puppy. I've got a small puppy at home and it's learning all sorts of different things. In order for us to do training properly, which we don't, what we need to do is we need to spend at least 30 to 40 times of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's a really small task that doesn't necessarily matter that much. Just tiny, tiny tasks, right? Come over here, sit down, do those kind of things. Those are tiny, tiny tasks. If you're doing something that's complicated, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, remember to become an expert in a particular domain. It's going to take you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It's probably going to take you thousands of times by the time you actually start understanding what's going on with what you're doing. So I know that many of you are maybe starting out at this moment. Many of you are halfway through. But what I need you to remember, it's just going to take an unbelievable amount of dedication and an unbelievable amount of grinding by the time you actually get to the point of where you actually understand what you're doing. So, before you have big dreams of doing something that is going to be revolutionary and all of those kind of things, remember it's just one little step at a time. One little tiny thing, that stepping stone, one time, at another time, and then at another time. It's just incremental. That's it. Just a little bit. Every day you're doing something. So if it is incremental like this, just tiny, tiny steps, remember that it's going to take an awful long time, right? If you're imagining it's going to take you 10,000 times, that's literally what you need to do something by the time you become pretty good at it, right? Like you would be considered a moderate expert, not like expert as like really crazy, but just a moderate expert. Think about how many times that actually is of doing something. So for me, of doing these YouTube videos at this moment, if I do 10,000 YouTube videos, I do 365 a day, or a year, 365 times a year. So that is times 10, that's 3,650 times over the course of 10 years. Now, I need to do that for 30 years by the time I actually become a complete expert at something. But you can speed this up by doing it more times throughout the day, really working at something over and over and over again. And that's where you need to have that mindset or this belief that's really going to take you this 10,000 times of actually getting to the point where it really clicks, whatever you're working on, right? So whether it's these silly YouTube videos, for example, or my work, this is what I worry about. I write papers and I do research, and it requires an unbelievable amount of dedication to do these things. Maybe you've got a small business that you are doing retail, for example, and you're starting out doing retail or reselling something. Well, just remember, it's going to take you a little bit all the time. And don't like buy into sort of scammy people and scammy things. Just remember, it's just going to take a long time of actually getting there. Just a slow incremental thing where maybe at the end of 5 years, you'll be considering yourself as just beginning at this particular thing. So just remember that whatever you're working on, I want to give you encouragement that you're right on the right path. Whatever thing that you're working on, you're right on the right path. It just doesn't seem like you're actually moving towards anything because it's a slow path. Doing something 10,000 times is really tedious and really boring, but that's really what the truth is. That's what it takes by the time that anything starts to really click and you become an expert in a certain area. So just remember that. You just have to keep doing it today. You have to do it tomorrow. And don't give up on yourself. That is part of the process. The nice, slow moments where it's very incremental, that is part of the process. You are actually learning the craft at that moment. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Oh, by the way, can you leave some comments? I want to know where everybody is. Just let me know where you are from, or where, like, maybe the city or the state or the country of where you're from. I'm just really curious. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.